issues with going out of the screen and stuff. So like you maintain, I guess, your position or whatever you're in.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay, yeah.
What do you think I meant?
Honestly, didn't know, so I didn't really make too many guesses.
Is she talking about what worked well or what needs improvement?
What worked well?
She's not going well. It wasn't as animated.
So being less animated is a good thing?
Yeah, that's what I thought that was a bad thing in the message. She was like, it was less animated. Like, oh, that's unfortunate.
No,
So I didn't know what you were talking about.
I don't know.
But I get what you're saying. So you were saying the distracting gestures, like the feedback that people gave to improve.
Yes, I think you did.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. I think that this particular slide presentation was very difficult to keep up with, and Cameron did really good while troubleshooting simultaneously.
Yeah.
Trying to keep Zoom on or get it back on or do this or that. It's like, I was really impressed with how well he was like clicking through stuff.
And I figured that's what was happening. It was like, Cameron is probably there with 10 things at one time.
Yeah, he's got a lot on that to manage, and I'm like, wow, he's doing good.
Very soon I'll be able to
Yeah.
start clicking around.
It would be helpful, pushing some of those little doohickeys. So, that's good. Kathy, what was the message or conversation like when you let him know that we were doing something different on Zoom?
I sent it out with the message as a reminder, and nobody gave me personal feedback on that, but Melba showed up.
She did show up.
And Rebecca commented, of course she was there at the beginning, but she couldn't stay through it. See, nobody gave me personal feedback regarding it.
Okay.
But those who, the ones that usually respond are the ones that were there.
All right. Do you know by any chance how Margaretha showed up there, or where she came from? Yeah, Margaretha shouldn't have been there.
I definitely didn't invite her.
And Shanicia didn't invite her.
And I wouldn't think Tina did. I don't know how that happened. I did see that and I'm going, whoa. No, I didn't.
And Altia was there. So Altia was there.
Yeah, I don't think Altia was supposed to be there either.
Altia, no. It was the two people who won it. I sent reminders.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh, yeah.
Raynell made it.
Yes.
That was exciting, and Tashelle did not.
Yeah, but Tashelle's going to watch the replay
Oh,
because I had sent her the reminder, and then Giselle told me that she's extremely busy today and can't. But I said because she won that at the real
Reason to Live
challenge, now she can watch the replay.
Yeah.
And Giselle said thank you, and I'll let her know.
That's cool. Yeah,
So-
Giselle was there. Okay, right on.
I guess that's something that I like too, that it was a lot of people there on Zoom, even though half of them weren't supposed to be there. I liked it. Reminded me of the challenge.
Yeah. It was
like that
encouraging to see
setting.
people,
Yeah.
rather than like seeing a viewer be confused of who showed and who didn't.
Yeah.
I like
I
that.
definitely look at my list and only invite those that I know are workers
I
that
know
filled
you're
out
good
the
at the
field
difference.
report. So I was surprised to see Margarita too. But maybe Tina.
I was just gonna say
Tina
that maybe
doesn't know.
she. Oh, I was
talked
gonna
to
say
her.
she joined from Tina's thing.
Okay. No, I'm not sure. That's interesting.
Maybe Margaretha.
You think she purchased it?
Wait,
No.
who did? Remember 3 people came in on the very last day? I know one was Josh, and I sent him a reminder.
Gloria,
Gloria, okay, that's who I...
and then the brother
John.
John was having
Okay.
troubles logging in last night, but he figured it out.
Good.
But he didn't show up.
Okay.
And then Josh texted me. I was like,
Josh texted me too.
yeah, I was like, what's the best way to reach you? He's like, sorry, my bad. I'm like,
Oh my god.
I'm just
But he
like,
said a little bit more to me.
oh, good. I'm glad. Because I'm like, man, this is the only words in like 3 months.
He said, really good. There's not a problem that I've got that I'm not being covered. And then he says, I'm sorry to have been avoiding.
Oh.
Those are the 3 things he said.
Oh, he might have some, I'm not sure, but he might have like like maybe like developmental like challenges perhaps. Like in some of my interactions with him, it seemed like he was a little more like, how do I say this? Like he wasn't really like his age, or like his body's a little physically like more mature than his mind. Like I'm not sure if that's the case, but yeah.
See, I do 99% of the communicating, but before he did seem, he goes, his communication seemed appropriate before. This time it seemed kind of short and not linking together.
Yeah, he might be going through a hard time, and maybe just hard to contact. I think he might do better with email. I know Musa emailed us, and he wants to change his email. So he's interested in Director God. He wants a different email.
That's good. Because Musa is a
I don't think he's a paying student.
No, he's no longer a monthly paying student, but I thought he was one of our C students.
No, I don't think he bought the course.
Oh, okay then. Alrighty. And I'm not seeing it, so maybe not. Okay. And I didn't invite him because I knew that his membership had expired. So.
Oh, what about Victoria? Is she a student?
Yes.
Victoria I knew was.
Yeah.
She's been a volunteer and a student.
Yeah, and she's helped with a lot of the worksheets too.
Yeah, it's a big help.
I just sent the message from Altia. She sent it at 11:02 and I didn't realize.
What message you sent?
She said,
she's like, hey, I sneaked in the back door. I found this link just kind of lying there, so I decided to join.
She said, she was asking me, how do you get to view the Direction from God Livecast? I had created an account already and I think it's supposed to start at 11. She sent that at 11:02. And then she said, never mind, I got through.
Oh, okay. So that was through the checklist.
So she did sign up then. She did.
So I think what happened with Tia and Margarita is they got the getting started checklist, which I think we switched the squads. How do I say the squads? What do you call the squads? So we have a general volunteer, like a publishing. Well, before the squads, we just had one general volunteer getting started checklist, and part of that involved creating a Direction God program account, because everyone who joined was joining publishing. And then we started the squads, and we were realizing it's like, well, we don't really want to like just give every single squad leader, anyone who joins as a squad leader, that. But for the first, or really like 80% of the time that we've been doing the squads, like the getting started checklist, most of the squad leaders just ignored Notion entirely. But it was still on their checklist to create a free account. It's like Denzel has it on his checklist to create a free account. I don't know how far he got with that, but so Margarita and Altia, they probably got it from there now that I think about it.
That makes sense because I recently told her to keep going through her checklist so we can get started on her training.
Makes sense.
So, what's the solution?
Well, I know that Kamran and Marianne went through and they cut out everything in the publishing stuff and just left bare bones for what the squad leaders needed, and then like made 2 different lists. I don't know if Leah got the memo to put squad leader checklist on one and publishing on the other.
Leah who?
Leah, there's only one Leah Francis from Pakistan.
Leah. Okay, that Leah. Gotcha. All right, you're right. Only one
and,
Leah. Okay.
I don't know if she got the memo that there's 2 different ones, or how to differentiate. This could be a good problem for Shanicia and the onboarding team to kind of resolve is I'm not sure if she knows how to differentiate from the information Leah has of who's a squad leader and who's signing up for publishing.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly how it could have happened.
That's probably what happened.
Yeah, because I know I don't send out what you call group announcements.
But even if you sent it out, you're not sending links to the Zoom, are you? You're sending you're letting them know to just click the button and go to Zoom. Yeah, that makes sense. So regardless, they got an account. Even if you did send it out to them, they would have to have an account in order to access it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Well, it was nice to have them, folk. That was fun. What else do you guys see? Hey, I'm glad we solved that problem or question. What do you guys see as something that needs to be improved? Oh, Mom wants a call.
No lighting.
They thought the lighting needed improvement. I didn't see it. It didn't. It wasn't significant to me that it took. I didn't see. I thought it
People
was
said that Alex red.
Who said that? Shanice, I know, and was it Sherry?
Ms. Deb, I think Sister Sherry said that. Ms. Deb said that, and you look. Somebody else said you look tired.
So I look red, but I'm wearing yellow.
I know it. I didn't think you looked red. But
I've got olive skin.
They thought your face was red, Pastor. I know I didn't. I just didn't look red to me. But it's probably a good thing that you weren't wearing a red shirt, because then they really thought you looked red.
Or maybe Carmen would have toned it down. It'd be more intense.
Yeah. I didn't think you looked red either. But you were fading into the background.
But it's feedback nonetheless. When you say I was fading in the background, what do you mean by that?
Into the
I disappeared sometimes, like my head.
Your head started going invisible.
My head went invisible, and you see like someone's name written on my forehead from Zoom.
You faded into somebody's profile picture.
Yeah, we need to figure out the lighting a little better. Or really, we need to get a different color green screen.
Exactly.
Which we could put Mom on that because she's supposed to do that during the challenge.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so that's definitely good to know. I didn't mention any like giveaways.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what to give them.
Okay.
And hello? You hang up on me? Oh, I didn't hear you. Okay. Alright. See you soon. Bye.
Is she coming down?
Yes?
Then I need to get her a chair.
Do you need your computer? It would probably be good to bring. Got a charger down here for you. And a longboard. Alright, see you soon. Bye. Well, I guess I should say that for when Mom gets here, actually. What else do you guys see we need improved? Carmen, did you see me disappearing? Yeah.
But no sooner than you disappeared, you reappeared.
I think sometimes I would...
What is this for?
We can leave it there. She's going to use it for her laptop.
Okay.
Thanks, Kathy. There's something else we saw that needed to be improved? I think also for this live cast, we spent less time putting it together. Yeah, that worked well. Because what we did is we just took like a half an hour and went through like all the presentations and just took out like, created a master slide and just put every slide that we have that possibly talks about faith. And then we like had a lot and we're like, whoa, that's cool, we already used a lot. And then it was just like, okay, what are the 4 teaching points? And then we just like put them over there, and we only had to create like a couple slides, and it wasn't that bad. So that worked really well. It was a lot less effort, and then we can put more of our attention somewhere else.
That's good.
Welcome, Mamacita.
Did you say to bring that? I forgot what you said.
Bring what? Oh,
The
yeah.
computer.
That's alright. I'm glad you got here. Yeah, it's half the battle.
That is half the battle.
The other one's not a hill that we necessarily need to die on. So I wanted to say that I did not do giveaways at this time because I wasn't sure what to say to them, and it's kind of like stressful on my mind especially trying to find something that A, they haven't gone through or have access to, or B, something that's relevant to like what they're asking about.
Yeah, I wasn't, because I was helping out upstairs and I'm thinking, did I miss what he said, what the giveaway is? So I just wrote down the names that they had asked questions and, but then, yeah, that's what Deborah had said, that you didn't give anything away. So I didn't miss that.
It's a lot easier with paying students to do giveaways because you can like give them like value that they don't have or like courses or things, but then it's like with the volunteers, like comic books and shirts and physical stuff those add up very quickly, especially when they're not paying, and then with the courses they pretty much have access to a lot of those things, so that makes it kind of hard.
Did somebody show up without, you know what? Is Margarita and Thea, are they on,
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah.
We figured out how they got there.
how'd they get there?
And how to stop in the future. The getting started checklist. Shanicia is going to take care of that.
How did they get there?
There's a getting started checklist. One of the steps is to create an account.
Oh, and you know, it could be because I scooted the Zoom link down on Family Worship, and so anybody who saw me do that might have said, "Oh, they're getting on Zoom," and clicked on there.
I don't think so.
No, I think it was the other way probably is how they got notified.
Because Altia...
Because those were the only two, right?
Yeah, the only
those
two.
are the only two.
And Altia joined through the Direction God members area. She has a members area. She has an account. She went through it like that. It's a good guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, do you see something that went well?
Well, I want to ask also the brighter green color green screen. What happened to our old material?
The muslin fabric?
Whatever the green one that we
Walmart?
had. I don't know. We had a green like.
Yeah,
sheet
that was from
with it.
Walmart. Diana didn't think that. She thought that it would get wrinkly very well. You have to iron it constantly.
If it's linen, it requires
It's
a
not
lot.
linen. It's muslin.
Oh, muslin. Okay.
Yeah. And we had that for a long time, and I don't remember issues
Do we
with
still
that.
have those? I guess is
It
what
had a
my
big stain
question
on it.
is.
I doubt it. I think I got
okay.
rid of it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know I had a stain. Okay.
Yeah, I think we put the white Berkey filter on it over in California, and it got all messed up.
Oh, okay. And then,
But
do
I
you
know-
know how many yards that is? Or
No, but I can
Oh,
measure it. I can measure
That'd be
that.
great.
okay, thank you.
I'll make a note to measure that and get you the measurement.
Yeah, I
Plus,
don't
we
think
can
they-
use paint.
Oh, that's a whiteboard. To put
Well,
something
that's a
up there.
canvas.
We could paint a
We
whiteboard.
paint the canvas.
We could put a whiteboard up there, a couple whiteboards, paint it, and just move them when we're not using them.
Those things aren't lightweight.
A whiteboard?
Yeah, they're not. Those whiteboards are not lightweight. So to put it up, take it down, put it up, take it down would be.
What's wrong with just getting a muslin cloth? Okay. I think it's really quick, very fast. It's what, like 95% of the green screens are made out of that material, and it seems like an industry standard. It seems like for us to do outside the industry standard is just reinventing a wheel that's already been fashioned.
What's the material called?
Muslin.
How do you
Oh,
spell that?
muslin?
MUSLIN, muslin.
Muslin.
Cool. Thank you. I'm putting that on there so I don't forget.
Thanks for getting that, Mom. So, what do you see is, what do you see went well, Mom?
What went well? I love the message. Of course, that always goes well, but I saw that went well.
Too bad you didn't remember it. Too bad you didn't remember it.
Oh, the quote part that you said, a thing you were saying. It's okay. What else went well? I like how you're like in the little corner too.
I like that too. I like the green screen in the corner and being on this slide rather than.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Talking about the little pop-up?
Yeah, the little like bottom right corner. That's cool.
Yeah. I think he's doing good with the slides. You had to ask him a couple times, but pretty much he's doing really good with the slides.
Yeah, they're really advanced slides. Like as far as like, I wouldn't want to be in his shoes. That's tough.
I know.
But he did good with it.
And I don't know where they're getting those pictures. Those are really nice on the slides too.
Yeah, I blame Rebecca.
They look like paid for pictures.
And Leah.
Huh?
They do. They look awesome.
Yeah.
And Rebecca just kept saying she loves doing what she gets to do.
That's good.
Yeah, it's a blessing. But really,
She's doing good.
yeah, really pray for Rebecca. She's going through a very difficult time, and it's making it to where she's like on the verge of not being able to work with the Army of Youth.
Is she okay?
She's praying for patience, and God is giving her trials.
Are we a trial for her?
Not us.
Oh.
It's her parents. The trial, that's right. So, but prayer is the answer.
And her trials are getting more and more severe. So we just want to keep her in prayer.
Okay. Did it start on time? Seemed to.
Just about.
Yeah. That was good too.
Do you want to say something, Shanicia?
The internet was kind of.
Oh yeah, the internet
hard
went out
to-
one time. But like, what do we do to have the internet stop doing that? It never did that until like a month and a half ago or something.
Right when I showed
2 months.
up.
It only.
Yeah,
it
so
only.
you showed up, things stopped working.
Shanicia.
I know.
And when Denzel showed up, we started running out of avocados.
Denzel.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. Do you guys ever turn off the computer? Why don't you just turn it off and turn it back on?
What does the computer have to do with the router?
It helps it work.
The router?
Connection and stuff.
No, I mean the entire internet of the whole household shuts off. What would that have to do?
Well, why don't you at least turn off the router then and turn it back on?
Well, we do that, and then it.
You did that before the livecast?
I did that today.
Before the livecast?
Yes, you did.
So what made the internet go off?
No,
No, I wouldn't.
it went out, and when you were texting me, Kamran was under the table trying to fix it. When you were texting on my family or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that
It
weird?
does it
Because it
frequently.
seems like, does it?
Yeah, like throughout the day.
I'll call them.
It's about since Shanicia has been here, it just is
I'll-
going haywire.
Will you write
Yeah,
on
call them.
there
That would be wonderful.
for me to call them?
Because it happens frequently, like several
Yeah.
times a week.
I didn't order that. I'm
Because
sorry.
remember, it used to happen a lot, and then I called them and they did something. And
I don't remember
fixed
it
it
used
for
to
a
ever
long
happening
time.
a lot, but
Oh, yeah.
for you upstairs, yeah. I remember being plugged in and never had problems.
Okay.
But now we're having problems being plugged in. And one time, Carmen had internet and I didn't. I'm like, what is going on, Carmen? We're right next to each other. We're both hardwired.
Mhm.
But,
Could
yeah.
be the computer.
Well, this one is slower a little bit. But,
So that's what I was gonna say as well about the internet, because it kind of made it difficult for us to communicate. I didn't know I was commissioned to send out messages until Sister Kathy showed me on her phone because I didn't have it. So that made it kind of difficult.
glad she
That's
showed
why I
you.
didn't get to send out anything.
Makes sense. But it looked like we didn't actually have too many like technical issues with the.
Yeah, Zoom makes
Zoom.
it easier.
That's
I
good.
don't have to worry about a stream.
How do you
It's good.
protect Zoom from people just popping in on it?
I think there's several things we could do. Zoom allows us to create a new and different stream. If we have a special like Zoom thing, like Pretty Link for the DFGP, and we use like not the same exact Zoom that we always do, but we created a special room or a temporary room, then a temporary room would work.
Then
and-
we'd have to give out the new thing every time.
No,
each time.
no, one Pretty Link that has the button. Cameron put the Pretty Link on the button, so when they click the button, it goes boop. It goes to thearmyview.com/DFGP, and you just go click, and then he wired it to where it goes to Zoom, to our Zoom thing. But we could
Nice.
use a temporary Zoom and just update the Pretty Link, and then everyone has it for the month. But it doesn't change. I think the same URL that we always have for like thearmyviews.com/Zoom could be like just our general one that we always do, that the church usually uses and stuff like that.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't know we could do that. That's really nice. And it's nice
an option.
that something else I liked is we could see who was there.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
That was really good.
That
was like an answer to our prayers. We've been trying to figure out like how can we see who's there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is so much
I think that helps a lot too.
saves me time.
Yeah.
It gives us information too that
Yeah.
we need.
And we know that Stephanie didn't show up.
Stephanie.
But hey, what if we switch a little bit to the oh Lord my God.
What needs improvement?
No, what if we switch to the valuation for a few minutes?
Okay. It's part of.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how well do you guys think that we did the engagement?
Engagement.
I'm gonna skip the insider field.
I
Because
only heard you, ask them to put something down below once.
Several.
I did it like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Several
didn't.
times.
I didn't
He
notice that.
definitely.
And
Quite a
screenshots.
few times. He
Okay.
invited them to
Take a
Comment.
screenshot.
comment down below.
Oh, yeah.
If you have any questions, put them down below.
Oh, I heard them say questions too.
Yeah, at least, I would say every bit 5 to 6 times.
Oh no, I was.
No, it turned on. I'm like this and it turned on.
I wasn't there from the beginning, so I
It's
didn't hear
just
that
taking the
way.
internet.
Yeah.
But I
It
did
was
hear
quite a
you
few.
tell them to take a screenshot of the map.
Oh yeah, screenshot of the map. That's kind of neat. I don't remember
What
saying that,
map?
but that's good.
You did?
I like it was like a mind map or something, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Just
no, the one
with
with
black.
the leaves.
Yeah, the arrows. It's like events and then
Oh,
story.
that's right. I do remember that too now.
I thought I told them. Oh no. Yeah. So was okay. Engaging. Like how engaging was the content? Is the audience directly addressed? Were they asked any questions? Was there use of stories or testimony in the content? Was there a call to comments? And what can we? Oh, and what can we do? So on a scale of 1 to 10.
Well, I'm just thinking
Any
that
examples?
if you're engaging them and they're not responding, then it's not very engaging.
But didn't you say there were questions and comments down below?
Yes,
That
there
was at
was.
the end of the Q&A session.
So what number,
Most
Mom?
of them were
I would say 2 because at least
2.
you asked.
Okay, Shanice, what number would you give it? Scale
But
1 to 10.
considering that it had testimonies, there was a cross comments and all these different things, I would say 7.
What about you, Kathy?
That's what I would have given. it,
7?
7.
What about you, Cameron?
6 or 7.
Alright, now what can we do to improve?
Find something that would engage them. We have to figure out a way to engage them.
I guess the only
Oh,
part that I was
I think if I had a thing here and I could interact with the people as they're talking and I could actually see what they're saying, I forgot that's what we did with the challenge. Having the 2 computers helped. Over there, I could not see their comments. I could not see what they're
Yeah.
saying. So why would you want to comment if I can't even see what they're saying?
That's right.
But when I know that when speakers can actually view live what's being seen, and if I could see their faces, it makes it a lot easier to
Right.
do that.
Was
And-
anybody live though today? Nobody was live.
What do you mean?
Everybody was. It was their still
Oh, with
pictures.
the-
Yeah,
They were
that's
there.
their face.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're not getting response back. You're not
Oh, what
getting
are you
feedback
referring
from
I don't
their
even
face.
know who's there. It's so far away. I can't see
understand.
what they're saying.
So
or
we need
who's
to set it
speaking
up with
where.
the two computers like we did before. Okay.
That would be way more engaging.
Okay, that's good. We need to make that a note to do that then. So that for live cast we have two computers. It's not just one.
Or at least a way that I could see people's comments.
Well, that's the only way you would be able to, wouldn't it?
Not
What other
necessarily.
way? What other way?
Depends on where I'm at.
You can use my tablet if you want.
Yeah, see, a tablet would work too.
Okay.
So
That's interesting.
another thing that you could
Or
do
my
is,
phone.
is call on somebody. Say, what do you think about that? You know, Deborah, what do you think about that? Say something like that. And then once one person speaks, I think other people will start speaking. It's kind of like a classroom. Once somebody starts it, then other people will participate.
It's true.
And that's what happened when I started asking questions. Susie asked questions.
Yeah.
Chat.
Yeah, and I really appreciate Mom and Shanice asking questions because you set a good example for other people and give them permission to engage, so that's helpful.
Victoria and Susie did too.
Yep, it sure did.
That button's still blue, Nick.
That's okay, there's nothing wrong with
It's
that.
okay.
What about, does anyone else see how we can improve in that area and make it more engaging?
I know to ask a question, you get people involved by asking questions and giving them a gift for doing that. But maybe if you didn't give a gift to everybody, but just threw out a little something every once in a while because they engaged, and let people know it was because they engaged, that you're trying to get people to engage. I think
You're
that
talking about the
people
Q&A
will
at the
feel-
end?
Well, whenever you want them to engage.
Well, one thing I saw that the Own Your Future Challenge did is for their backstage, they actually had like a Google form that you could ask questions and you could submit what topics you want to be talked about or what you want to be covered, what
Oh.
problems you want to be solved, what
Good question.
questions you want to be addressed up there. And I'm like, that is genius. I would
That
love to
is.
do something like that. And I documented on Notion what their questions were and I mapped out what their form looked like. And I was thinking if we just remixed a form like that, put it in their members area, and just collected questions throughout the month, that might be pretty helpful for the Q&A section.
You know what else might be really good is if we had just a section where people did things like that and they put their video testimonies or in video questions up there and they like could communicate with each other. I think that would be nice.
I think
Kinda like a Facebook group. Or
I think
something.
Susie would do good with collecting testimonies for the livecast also. But
Testimonies and questions.
I mean questions for the livecast.
I had a question about questions, and
Okay.
I'm not sure where it fits.
That's
But I
right.
wanted to ask that earlier too. It's like, would you prefer, like at the end during the Q&A session, like one person read the questions that people have, or for them to do like what we did today?
That's a great question. So it'd be under like what needs improvement, and
Doesn't Tina usually do that?
well, no, Tina usually has testimonies and takes screenshots and sends those to me. But we're doing a different format where we're engaging with people verbally at the end. So I think if people are writing their question, what I would prefer to do is call upon that individual to have them verbally express it so their question could be answered. But I can't read who's there, so I can't really call on them, and we don't always know if they're there during the Q&A. They might ask a question in the first portion and not there at the end.
Yeah.
So you reading that question for them was extremely helpful because I don't know what they're saying. And unless Kamran clicks save on the chat, I have no
Yeah, bypasses us.
I have no text. I can't like go back and read the text messages of what goes on. Which that's another thing to improve. Kamran, if when you end the Zoom calls, you're able to like save the text file and upload it to Livecast calendar, I would deeply appreciate that. Because I actually want to read through what people are saying on there.
I'm wondering too, when we have a debriefing, do we look at that next month?
Look at what next month?
The debriefing that we're doing right now, do we look at that next month to make sure that everything's implemented in it? And that we remember to do the things that...
No, but would you be interested in being the person to look at it each month to make sure that things are getting done? To review? Yeah?
I could do that.
That'd be pretty cool.
Where's he keeping his notes at?
They're on the Livecast calendar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look at it.
So
See.
that'd be awesome. Does that sound reasonable, Kamran? With the Zoom?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Alright, cool. Now what about eliciting an emotional response? On a scale from 1 to 10, what emotion is being generated by this content? How strongly is the emotion elicited? And is it strong enough to make someone want to share? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how much emotion is like? How well have we engaged them, their heart, not just their mind? You look like you got a facial expression, so we'll let you
I got a facial
express.
expression.
Yeah.
I think I have a lot of facial expressions.
Mom's over here yawning, so I'm like, I don't know what kind of
I need to
emotion
wake
she's
up.
talking about. You're over here deep in thought, so what's on your mind?
Sure. Well, from the parts that I heard, I guess I would say,
What number first?
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
I guess I would say a 6.
Say 6, and why?
Because
It seems like
it
it's
was
the
just
same
for me like a personal thing. Especially the parts where I was asking questions about. That's some type of emotion. I'm not sure what kind of emotion it is.
Oh, what do you
But
mean for
the
you a
questions
personal
were
thing?
Driven by some type of emotion. When
Oh.
I was asking questions at
Oh,
the
the
end,
questions were.
and it really made me think about what you were saying.
Oh, that's good. So you asked. That's being an active learner. So what would it take to get that number higher?
Maybe if I was there from the beginning.
Oh, if you were there from the beginning.
Maybe.
Okay. All right. What about you, Kamran? What did you see, or maybe Kathy? Kathy, what do you see? What number would you have given it?
I'd rather pass on that.
Okay. What about you, Mom?
I'm sorry, what is it that you asked?
We're asking about the emotional response. What number? On a scale
That
from
stuff
1
was
to
so
10.
good. That information is so good.
So what number? How strongly was emotion elicited? And what emotion was elicited?
I'd say a 9.
A 9, okay.
Yeah,
Why?
just because that information changes your life.
Were you there from the beginning?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So
Yeah,
that's
but the internet was out. You know, if you mean the beginning from when we got the internet running, is that what you mean?
it. I don't know what
Yeah.
she meant by the beginning.
Because the
I meant
internet.
the beginning of the presentation.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I was in the kitchen
In the
and
presentation.
the internet was out.
Yeah, the internet was out. So I was up in my room. I was thinking, this internet's out. I said, I wonder if it's out down there. It was out.
Yeah, it was out. I saw it went out, and I'm like, Lord, please help me to focus and not look at the screen, because sometimes seeing Cameron like do troubleshooting is distracting, because I'm looking at the camera, but I see his screen and it's so big in my peripheral vision, and so like I see him like trying to fix things. He's not on the slides, or he's like looking over here, and I'm like, and I'm glad he's trying to fix it, but I'm just like, you know, I could have that second conversation or the third conversation going on in my mind while I'm trying to speak something totally different, thinking like, oh, where are the people? What's going on? Should I stop? It's like, what should I do? Or like, should we like who's the primary audience? What, like, how do I respond to this situation? Meanwhile, I'm trying to like teach the content,
and I was just like, okay, it's being recorded. The replay's gonna go up. If I stop now, it's gonna mess up the replay. So I gotta focus, and I can't get distracted.
That was good.
Yeah.
That's good that you did that.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were going
I think
through
you
that.
handled that well in that period, because when we came back, you were still talking, and I knew you hadn't lost any space, and that it was being recorded. We just kept praying, but
Thanks for your
knowing
prayers.
that the recording was going to happen with or without us seeing it.
Yeah, that was nice.
That was good.
That recording is nice. I'm glad that we cut off the question and answers from the live cast. That was good.
Why?
Because they're two different files. That way they could be in two different places. The shorter in the members area each lesson is, the better. I would like a video editor to go through, like in Como, to go through and just cut trim those live casts into several.
Yeah.
So like when Susie does her Bible readings, she could just cut like 15-minute sections. And each week when they're doing the Bible reading, or squad leaders, they could watch that for their weekly
That
training.
little section that goes along with that Bible study.
Yeah,
That would be
so helpful.
very.
Carmen, what? Oh, go ahead, Cheese, yeah.
I was gonna say, well, what do you think for this one based on the questions that people ask, like Victoria and stuff? I don't know how to describe that the emotion that prompted the questions.
Oh, the emotion?
Yeah, but they were.
Well, I think curiosity is an emotion that people had, interest, desired. They had, like, as far as like, some of the emotions that I was trying to generate was hope, courage, inspiration. I wanted to generate or elicit people to encouragement. Huh?
Did you want to poke at their funny bone?
Did I want to poke at their funny bone? I don't think that was my intent. Was there something I said that was funny?
Well, I mean, that one gift story.
Oh yeah, the gifts. Yeah, I did want to poke at their funny bone there. My mom calls it your not so funny bone, so 'cause it's not so funny when you hit it. But
How it got a funny bone name?
oh,
Somebody was drunk or something.
well, I think it's funny for people looking at them.
No, that's not funny. I can almost feel it when I see somebody that they're funny.
Yeah, it's true. What about you, Conron? What emotional response do you think that it brought?
My number?
Yeah, number.
I'll give it a 6.
6. I would say maybe, like, for me, maybe a 7 or an 8. Because
How do you
Partly
know if
'cause I
people
was-
aren't responding?
because of your emotion and how you respond. That's how
wanna
you
go
know.
by my emotions?
Yes, I'm asking what kind of emotional response does that have? When you
I love
view
it.
when you view it, what is the emotions that you generate? It's an indication of, like, when you watch a video, you can see, like, oh wow, like, I'm feeling encouraged, I'm feeling excited, I'm feeling like awe and shock and amaze and like whoa, wonder.
It seems doable and it's exciting
Yeah.
to me.
I want people to feel like, wow, like, I could do that. I want people to walk away from the Livecast feeling like, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
So I can
I'm glad we're
encourage.
not basing it off of because my emotions like curiosity most of the time. Every time something interesting comes up, I'm just like. So, yeah.
Curiosity is good, because curiosity
Well,
is
especially
what.
with that try to.
With the cat.
That's not what you were trying to, get across. So don't base it off.
Well,
of-
actually, I want people. Anytime people are learning, the more curious that you can be, the fascinated you are, the more your memory is going to retain things. Like, you're going to retain far more of the message because you have curiosity as your emotion that you're engaged with during the content, as opposed to someone who is like, ah, or like, whoa, or whatever. Like, they're going to lose more. because curiosity is what really is the emotion of memory, the emotion of learning. So for me, whenever I'm trying to remember or learn something, I cultivate curiosity, fascination, and I'm like, I go through the, like, change my emotion, change my words, change my focus. I'm asking, like, why am I curious? Why am I interested? Why does this fascinate me? Why am I motivated to do this? Why does this excite me to learn? And so those are the questions that will help you to really retain it and put it into practice. Long-term memory. Okay, so...
Where's Meggie at? They went to the church to clean. I was already in the car. We were leaving to go clean the church when I got the message that we were having a debriefing now.
What about the unique perspective? On a scale of 1 to 10, what number would you give the unique perspective? And the question is this better than similar content? And how?
Who's saying it out there?
What do you mean?
Who has this content out there?
Similar content?
Yeah. I don't know any pastors doing it.
It is unique in that fact that there isn't other people that are talking about it. And even if they're talking about one particular aspect, by the time you put the whole thing together, there's nobody covering that.
It's true.
So it is unique in that form.
Yeah.
And that's why breaking it down into at least 4 different sections and like magnifying, just focusing on one will, but overall it's unique because nobody else is doing that. But
I
we
think
know
so too.
I know.
And creating frameworks. Well, I know that, like, in science, people are talking about this stuff, but we add a unique twist by filtering it through the scriptures and showing the biblical foundation for the scientific facts.
That's why I say nobody else is doing it.
Yeah.
So this is like, are we presenting a fresh perspective on the subject? Like, when you hear righteousness by faith, have you heard, like, how many righteousness by faith messages have you heard in your life? How many righteousness by faith messages have you heard that are presented like this?
Well,
None.
I think that righteousness by faith isn't really common. We're not just talking for Seventh-day Adventists, we're just talking in general for people.
Are you making a statement or a question?
Well, I'm making a statement.
Oh, okay.
And I think that because of that, it's really rare. You know, it's already rare because, you know, it's really almost a Seventh-day Adventist belief. And then it's even more rare when it goes out to the public through a Seventh-day Adventist belief system.
Do you want to say something, Carmel, or you give me a high five?
High five. Hello.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what number unique perspective?
I think it's high I say 9.
What about you, Shanicia?
I don't know for this one.
You don't know? What?
Maybe 8 or 9.
Why not?
8. Let's say 8. Sorry.
You just, like, make a decision and say a number.
7.
Pick a number between 1 and 10.
7 is okay.
7.
I'll go with that.
What would it take to get the number higher?
Having something to compare it to.
Have it.
The fact that
What?
there's nothing to compare it
What?
to
I know, that would make
means
it.
it's unique.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go.
Well, what was when
We
was the
should
last time
allow
that you
this
heard
many-
a sermon on righteousness by faith? When was the last time you heard a sermon on faith?
Sometime recent.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of sermons that talk about faith. When was the last time you heard about faith in Christ or believing in Christ
And
Or
where
the-
the
or
line
the-
works.
or the promises of Christ?
The way Christ works in us.
You can compare it to, like, sermons that you heard at your church in Georgia. You can compare it to sermons you heard on YouTube. Who are some of your favorite preachers? And when did they talk about victory or overcoming or things of that nature? when you hear messages of victory, like, is it similar? It's kind of interesting, like, you were saying that having something to compare it to.
Well, how would I think about it?
Like, if you listen to what you were saying, like, what, like, is it unique? Is it like other things else? And you're like, well, because it's unlike anything I've ever heard. I have nothing to compare it to. I'm going to give it a 7.
Wow.
She sees her folly now.
Oh, she does?
She
I
does.
guess so.
What about you, Kathy?
I think it's a 10.
You think it's 10?
Yeah.
And you pretty well shared why.
Yeah.
What about you, Kamran? You can be honest.
I can be honest.
Yep.
I hope you will be.
I can.
Kamran, where'd you get that from? Oh, it's a napkin.
I don't have to be pessimistic and give a low answer or a low number.
You never have to do that.
I don't have to be super critical.
You don't have to be super critical.
Well, hey, it's like it's combining two different things.
You remixing?
combining the, what do you call it? Like righteousness by faith with how the mind works.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Righteous by faith, mental health, psychology,
It's like
scriptures.
for the people who like just don't get it or they're feeling stuck. This is the stuff.
It is. Amazing.
It's interesting.
The way God created us. And you know that it's this late in time that we're getting it. You know?
I think it's just in time.
It's like thousands and thousands of years since Adam and Eve.
So what number would you give it?
Oh, and adding the what do you call it? The courses.
What courses?
No, the course, the gift of
Oh,
energy. You
oh.
put those
Oh, yeah, I like
Those
that.
examples.
I like
They
that
help
you gave
illustrate
him.
the point.
Just give it
Yeah.
10.
Good
10.
testimony.
Wow.
Use specific examples of things that you actually did.
Yeah, and you gave
I felt like that was a step out of my comfort zone.
you gave credit to him too. I like that. I was like, yeah, that's cool. I like
I
that.
have a question.
What's your question?
I guess I don't understand because if you're saying is this better than similar content, what is similar content? How would I know if it's better than similar content if I have nothing to compare it to?
Great question. I'm glad you asked. Like similar content for me is like, where did I learn this stuff? I learned it from Jim Quick. I learned it from Tony. I learned it from. Who else did I learn from? Maybe some from Brendan. Like, there's things like I learned some things from A.T. Jones, Lessons on Faith. I learned things from like Steps to Christ, exactly. Things that we've read in Desire of Ages. Like there's like a lot of these, like most of the things that I'm sharing, like I learned from like Spirit of Prophecy books, and I'm just tracing through the scriptures. Like thoughts and feelings combined make up the moral character. That's like Testimonies to the Church, volume something. And it's like, but it's not using that, but it's using like Hebrews 8:10 or 12. It's like I will write my laws in their minds and in their hearts. So it's like it's similar in the sense that like we're quoting similar books. That's pieces of content that talk about similar stuff. Like in the Spirit of Prophecy, like as you read the Spirit of Prophecy, do you come to the same conclusions, or do you see like they're harmonizing? What are the things that talk about the similar subjects? And so a lot of this stuff, like I like walked people through the Steps of Christ process, like her framework, 13 Steps to Christ, and what else? And it's like I see that there are videos that explain. There's like TED Talks. There's videos that explain like how emotions work, but it's like, for instance, the 7 questions that to align your feelings with your faith. Like I learned those from from one of Tony's videos. He's like, is this happening to you or is this happening for you? Is God punishing you, or is he answering your prayers? Is this the end, or is this the beginning? Are you losing, or are you gaining? Anytime you're focusing on loss, then you're gonna feel pain.
But that's only familiar if she watches stuff like that.
Yes, I understand. But for me, I'm just giving her a testimony examples, and she can see if things are fit for her. But for me, like when I hear that, I'm like, whoa, that's really profound. I'm like, but my question is, does the Bible say that? Like, are these like, how does God, like the one who answers that question, is this happening to me or for me, is God. Is like, what does God say this is doing in my life? And then I realize God is saying that, like, all things work together for, like, it's good for me that I've been afflicted. I'm like, oh, and seeing how, like, all the things that I count but loss, that I might gain Christ. So I'm like, oh, it's not a loss, it's a gain. And then just going through, like, the scriptures on these things. And then, so, like, adding proof text and rejecting things that, like, or rewording things that do not, like, really, like, line with, like a Christian narrative or watchwords or terminology. Like, to me, I think that I'd much rather listen to something like this than something like just straight scientific things, and they might use like other words, terminology that would repel some of us.
Yeah, it's nice to know that it lines up with scripture. Even people, worldly people, God reveals things. If we're not on top of it, He reveals it to other people.
And a lot of these secular businesses are like, they are Christians, they're Bible students, they're believers, and they're studying the Bible. But like John Maxwell is a really good example. Like, I think when it comes to the science of leadership, his books are amazing because he's like all throughout his books, he's talking about leadership and influence principles and how to lead others. And he talks about the law of the inner circle and how you work with the 20% that have the 80% leadership potential. And once you started working with those runners, you're like, everything's so much easier. I learned that from John Maxwell. But he didn't quote a bunch of proof text for it, but there are portions in almost all his books where he says, everything I learned about leadership, I learned from the Bible. He started as a pastor for a long time, and he helped with business, and he helped with different things. So his source is from the scriptures, but he's speaking to business leaders and nation leaders and whoever, and ministry leaders. But so even though like you listen to John Maxwell, and sometimes he'll give like examples of the life of Christ, but all his frameworks are not like proof text stuff like the way that we do it. But that doesn't mean that he's like some pagan worldly person. He's like going to the scriptures, understanding it, and he's presenting the science of God's laws to the world. And he's like the number one. He's a category king when it comes to leadership.
That's like one of God's sheep too. They hear His voice.
Yeah.
Follow Him the best that they can, even though He's in a different religion.
Well, let me tell you how I was looking at it.
Okay.
I read the word content.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking content. I guess I kind of blended that first question with the third question of like how it's presented, because you know how we have like sermons and they do like videos and stuff. So I thought that's like format is what I was thinking. I guess.
Format, like the livecast kind of format. Oh.
Like, what do I come through?
Oh, okay. Yeah, content like Steps to Christ is a book. That's a piece of content. Yeah. And there's other livecasts and podcasts and audio courses. Okay.
Can I say something else that I really like?
Sure.
Is your take on the content king. I really like
the category king.
Yeah, the category king. I really like how you shared that. That is so like mentorship and going to the highest level that you possibly can to get the information. I know the Bible's the highest, but when you're talking to the world, I think that they
like the Bible is still like the first primary textbook, but then when you go to science, go to like the category king in science. It's like this is the best in the scriptures and the holy like truth.
And people are really into science. They're really like that's their go-to. But that brings them close enough to closer to us, so we can teach them biblical principles. Because sometimes that there might be something wrong in that science, which I just love that. I love that I just love the whole thing.
I learned that from Pedro.
Adele?
No, not Pedro. From Pete Vargas.
Oh.
Yeah, he talked about the goat. But the goat is a word that turns off Christians.
Yeah.
But it's like the greatest of all time. But when he said that, I was like, whoa, that's really profound. I never thought of it like that.
And isn't that the way that the Dream 100 guy speaks too?
Oh, he's a goat farmer.
Yeah.
That's different.
Oh, okay. He doesn't speak that way?
No, he's not.
Oh,
talking
okay.
about
What does goat represent?
goat. Greatest of all time.
Oh, of all
and
time.
I learned
Okay.
yesterday or the day before that category king is the same principle, it's just a different way to describe it.
Yeah, that's good.
What about Christ-centered? How Christ-centered was it?
It's barren. 10.
Carl, can we open up that
think
toggle?
10. I think Christ wants us to filter it through the Bible and see the truth. And I really feel like that was truthful. I feel like that was spot on.
It says, is Christ the word, the focus? Are examples from his life used? Is the audience learning to be more like him? And, yeah. What about you, Shanice?
I knew that was coming. You should put the rug on the wire more to the left.
Oh, yeah.
Or it's to your right, actually. Scoot the rug over a little more.
Go ahead, Shanice, yeah.
Because people come in going in that direction.
And it keeps constantly moving that way. I keep moving it this direction and it just
The rug does?
Yeah, the rug just keeps
Oh,
moving that
you
way.
got rug tape. We should tape it down.
Can we let Shanice answer?
Sorry.
I guess I would say a 10 for this one. Because we are learning about attributes of Christ and how he would want us to look at these certain things. So, 10.
What would it take to get the number higher?
Christ himself to come down and present it to me.
There you go.
What about you, Kathy?
Kathy, did I upset you?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's just
Hope not.
prayer meeting's already started and we're still here. It was Christ-centered. It definitely. There was the
Yes.
Bible books. Definitely. If you took Christ out of it, you wouldn't have had a presentation. So it was very Christ-centered. A 10.
Okay. Interesting. What about the actual steps?
Whoa.
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 Is there an appeal or a call to action? Is a call to action clear, concise, doable? Are there one or two clear, actual steps? Was there a major takeaway summarized at the end of each teaching point, or even like in the middle? Did you feel that you had actual steps of what you could do leaving? How to apply practically the principles?
Limiting, liberating. Take a picture, check these boxes. Wait, check these boxes? Take
Yep.
a picture of the boxes? Take a picture?
Well, I told them they'd be on the
I mean-
worksheet
Oh, yeah.
of the check boxes.
Check the boxes. Wow. Hey, that would be cool. That's helpful.
What's cool and helpful?
Mentioning that and putting that in there. So then,
For the worksheet?
yeah, for the worksheet.
Yeah, I was remixing from Paul Conniff. His worksheet had those check boxes. He's like, check all that apply. And I'm like, and he says, see how Christ can relate? And then pray Christ's story in your experience through those specific limiting beliefs. I'm like, that's deep.
That is.
And I saw everything that I applied to. I'm like, yeah, that's me. I get it. You guys are funny. So what number would you give it?
Give it a,
An 8. What would it
An
take to
8.
get the number higher?
fine, I'll give it a 9.
Just by asking?
Yeah,
That's it?
that's why I ask it. What would it take to get that number higher?
That's what I should have asked my boss. When he was,
What would it take to get my salary higher?
Yes.
Well, if your boss was calling us.
Oh no!
Or Tina, that works with her too.
What would it take to get it higher?
Yeah.
Well,
It's all those questions under the triangle?
under the triangle.
Yeah.
What?
Or we're answering each one
Oh,
one
no.
by one.
Yeah.
No, it's all under there. Like, is there a clear call to action? Was there concise, actual steps? Did they sound doable? Was it like, were you like, hey, I could do that? It's like leaving the training or like, did it inspire you to go through the worksheet? Be like, hey, I want to put this, I want to apply this. Was there emphasis on steps that you can immediately, and you could take today to immediately apply to your life?
Did you dangle the carrot?
Well, I'm not trying to dangle the carrot. That should probably be deleted. You don't have to be here. You can go.
I can walk too.
Well, you
I
have
have
the
a ride.
vehicle.
No, I don't.
Oh,
It
okay.
went to clean the church.
All right.
But
Then-
that's okay.
Then you can stay. Either way. Oh yeah, you can walk too. Either way works.
Personally, I don't remember.
Makes sense. Cause you were like cleaning or cooking or something. Was it
I
Was it hot up there?
It was hot, but when I sat down, I don't remember seeing any action of the steps.
like?
I'm sure they were there.
Oh,
Remind me.
the same thing happened when you were going through the Dream 100 training. You had actual steps in every video, and you're like, yeah, I haven't had a single assignment.
I'm not saying they were there.
No, that makes sense. No, some people are more trained to kind of see it in the video.
The steps were
Oh, good man.
the actionable part.
Which steps?
Just when you talk about like to go to category kings, that's a step.
Yeah, that is a step. Exactly. Go to war against confusion. That's a step.
Mhm.
Take your limiting belief, trace it through the scripture. That's a step.
And just praying to God too, and
Change your question. Change your life. That's a step.
and just what's that called? Like assessing where you're at, you know, to be able to do it. Yeah, that's a step. There's a lot of steps.
Cool. So what number would you give it?
Me?
Yeah.
Let me see. Clear, concise. Major takeaways. Oh yeah. I'd say a 9.
So, Shanicia, your answer sound like a 3, a 4, 2. What number would you give it? She said she didn't see it there.
I said I just don't remember because when I sat down and I got back up. When I sat down, it was like the last teacher.
Wow,
I'm
that's
sure they
rough.
were there, but I guess a 2.
Okay, makes sense. Praise the Lord. A 2?
Well, what would get that up higher?
Her sitting down and going through the
No, no.
presentation.
Do you think a worksheet would? If you saw a worksheet?
Sure.
What about, because at the end he talked about, he recapped what he was talking about. And then, we've been in, like, he's teaching those things to us while we're here. Did that
I'll
help?
just go back and watch it, and then do the worksheet.
Oh, okay. Well, it's good that you're going through the worksheet so you know what to look for.
Have you gone through any other
through a few.
worksheets?
I'm not.
Yeah, I think so.
I have to look this time.
Well-
That's
Okay. Just, it's nice to go through the debriefing is what I meant, so you know what to look for. Yeah.
This is the briefing right here?
Yeah. Always she knows what to look for.
Oh, you're talking about the evaluation.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah, because then
these
the next...
evaluation questions.
Yeah, the next time that she
That's what
watches,
your friend says,
she'll
the
know what to
worksheet.
look for.
No, those are not the worksheets. Mom switches up the words sometimes and it could be
No,
confusing.
No, that's not a
what
worksheet.
you're referring to. If
No.
this is what you're referring to.
Yeah, I was just thinking because it seems like you're confused about how to grade it, and I was just thinking that at least going through this and hearing us go through it and stuff, then it gives you a clearer idea what to look for when you're watching it.
And what's
That's
going to be
fine.
asked next
Yeah.
month.
That makes sense.
And even like when you watch it again, you could just say, hey, like what was this eliciting? What are the actual steps? Or
We're
is it
supposed to go
correct
through
to-
that
during.
before.
Yeah, if anybody's
Yeah.
interested, that's something we could do to
I
improve.
forgot.
If anyone's
Forgot about
interested
that.
to evaluate during, it's another way to be engaged and
You need to put that on
And,
there.
pay attention with that.
Do these during the live cast?
Yeah, just when I don't know what these are in your mind, but just the evaluation, evaluating it while doing the live cast, just like on a scale of 1 to 10, or like jotting like examples, like hey, that's a good actual step, or this is a major takeaway, or this is an emotion that I'm feeling right now, or when this story was told, it brought this emotion. Like just kind of like being mindful of the questions as we're listening to it. The more active engagement could be, the more it helps.
We'll see.
Well, I think this is good. We covered some good grounds. And I think we could probably close here with a word of prayer. Mama, would you like to pray for us?
Yeah.
Alright, thank
I
you.
would. Let me just do this real fast. Dear Lord, I know we do debriefings a lot, and sometimes we come up with really good ideas to change things, and sometimes we do those, and sometimes we fall behind on doing the part that we need to do that you showed that we should be doing, and please forgive us for that. Help us to like hyper focus on what'll make this live cast the best that it could be going out, so that it'll reach the people that you want to reach. Thank you for all the clarity that you bring to us, and that we could find scriptures in the Bible to back it up and drop off the parts that doesn't pertain. And dear Lord, we thank you for your guidance and your love. Thank you for being our God. Thank you for letting us be your people, and that we can link up together to reach the lost souls. Please help us to keep our goals in our heart and our mind set before us, and give us willing hearts and minds to do your word. Help us to hear it and recognize it. We love you, Lord. Please be with us today as we go to the church. Help us to be a light to everybody who's there. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thanks for your help, Carmen. I appreciate it.